I just restored the French Empire by bringing Napoleon back and subjugating the entirety of South America, Africa, as well as re-establishing the Confederation of the Rhine as our personal union, and we're well on our way to conquer the whole planet. So make sure to leave a like. Once we get 4,000, we'll do the second part and conquer the world. Also, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, would really help me out massively. And let me know in the comment section what nations you'd like me to cover in Victoria 3 next. France starts off as one of the most powerful nations in the world. In fact, militarily speaking, we are the most powerful nation in the world, and we're gonna make use of our military to make sure we reclaim both our colonial empire and we also become the hegemon of Europe in this campaign. Technologically, we are right up there with the greatest technological powers. We're gonna make sure we maintain that technological superiority. Queue up also pharmaceuticals so we have access to public health insurance. We start with the divided monarchist journal entry, where we have the option of going for the legitimists, Bonapartists, or Orleanists. As you would imagine, I am a big fan of what Napoleon was doing a few years back, so we might just get him back in charge of our country. Let's see what happens. Totally not a militaristic overlord gameplay, guys. Totally not. We're gonna need some more declared interests. I'm gonna go with South America, a little bit of the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, and classic African interest, because let's face it, we do want to establish ourselves as the overlords of Africa and everywhere else around, because we are the real colonial empire. It's not those slimy British guys. It's totally not. We're also going for the Kenyan colonization, because the British will go for this too, and we want to make sure we can compete with them, or at the very least trade this province here for another one from the British later down the line if need be. We're also a part of the quadruple alliance from day one, which means France, England, Spain, and Portugal will help each other if they get attacked, ensuring that we're never going to get attacked in essence. But what I'm really worried about is honestly the Prussians, because I've noticed in the last patch the Prussians have been making super Germany with Austria more than they probably should, and we kind of want to prevent that from happening if possible. I had a stream yesterday in which I was playing as France and super Germany formed. Suffice to say, that's not great. That's really not great. From a political perspective, we're really good. We got public schools, we got interventionalism, and we have a chance of actually going for laissez-faire. Ooh, that would be nice. But there's also quite a lot of opposition for that right now. First law I'm going to attempt to pass is free trade, because it will give us 25% trade advantage, which is absolutely massive. We also start with investment rights in Egypt, and I'm going to continue to get investment rights all around the world, starting with the Portuguese. Investment rights, military access in exchange for trade privilege, military access, and assistance. Well, technically I probably don't need to give them assistance, seeing as might be a little bit more expensive than it's worth, right? So we're gonna do just this particular treaty. We'll do similar treaties with the Belgians, with the Swiss, and everybody else around Europe that is easy to turn into a subject with the power block interactions, because that's right, we're gonna make our own power block, and it is, as you would imagine, a sovereign empire to compete with the British sovereign empire. As for our primary principle, we will be going for vassalization, as that's going to give us more income transfer from subjects and 20 authority per subject at level 3. The goal is honestly to just create a massive vassal swarm around the world, not have as many directly owned lands outside of France as many subjects in essence. And there you go, we can actually get power block embassy already with quite a lot of nations, including the Belgians, give them some trade privileges and allow us to build in their country. Same with the Swiss. We'll do investment rights, power block embassy, guarantee their independence, and we're gonna do trade privileges too with the Swiss nation. This really means we save up about 50 infamy, which we would have had to use to subjugate Belgium, Switzerland, Portugal, and so on. Now when it comes to buildings, we have a lot of those. We do need to change some production methods around, however, including philosophy department. Make sure we got all of our ports on cargo port, change them with the more optimal atmospheric engine pumps and such. And now we can also spam some more construction sectors. I'm gonna do another 3 for now until we fix our shortages, and I'm gonna be spamming some iron mines right afterwards in Rhone, one of the best states apparently that the French have. Also why we're gonna get road maintenance in Rhone, as well as promote social mobility. We're also gonna bolster the Bonapartist movement. Now the Bonapartist movement would like to see autocracy, monarchy, professional army, and interventionism / laissez-faire in charge, which is exactly what we're for. We also start with the Doofus Company, which is one of the strongest companies in the game, give them trade rights, investment rights. Also, we're going to give them cotton plantation as an additional industry, and we'll give them monopoly over textile mills just to make them ridiculously strong. We're going to need some more rivals too, so I'm going to go with the Ottomans, the Proscans, and the Brazilians for now. We might add some more later. I just don't want to get on the bad side of Austria just yet. I would like to actually get good relations with them in this campaign. I'm also going to fund lobbies in the Swiss, the Portuguese, and the Belgians for now, all of which I would like to see in my power block. Funding lobbies is the easiest way to increase your leverage. You get 25% leverage generation from political lobbies by simply funding, so it's really, really overpowered. Now, despite conquest of Algeria being an important part for us, I'm going to ignore Algeria for now. I got some bigger fish to fry. Remember that in the early part of the campaign, nobody will give a schnitzel about South America. None of the great powers care about it. We do, because we can snipe most of South America from the rest of the world before they even realize the game started, right? If we play our cards right. Pretender for the throne, we will be supporting Bonaparte pretenders. Oh, and I forgot, we also want to rival the British. That's important. We want to make sure they know from the get-go we don't like them. First nation we're attacking and humiliating is Bolivia. It is only 12 infamy, but if we were to wait, it would end up being like 30 infamy in just a few years. So we want to make sure we quickly grab hold of the biggest state in, or potentially biggest state in South America. Okay, it also seems like the Swedes are super on board with me adding them to the power block. No, these guys might actually back up if we force them to liberate some subjects. I got this feeling that might be the case. Come on, Bolivia, just back up, you little schnitzels. You don't need to fight me. You do not need to, you freaking scumbags. You actually want to fight me, huh? All right, we can play that game, buddy boy. Let's go ahead with the naval invasiones in their capital here, well, close to their capital in any case. Here's the problem with not attacking Algiers early though. The Algerians will raid us, and I mean raid us a lot. So after I get Bolivia and a couple more South American nations, I will be attacking the Algerian bits. All right, looks like our naval invasion is going extremely well. We do literally start with the strongest units. We've got skirmisher, mobile artillery, and lancers. Most nations don't even know what that is at this point in the campaign. Let's assign strategic objective as their capital, and I'm also going to start privatizing all of my buildings. We want to build up a good sizable amount of private sector. The more capitalists we got, the better it's going to be once we start taxing our dividends. There we go, we got our very first subject. Beautiful. Next nation on the list is going to be, as you would imagine, Argentina. Both Argentina and Bolivia have a lot of really vital resources. Not talking just about the gold, I'm talking especially about the sulfur mines, the coal mines, the iron mines, the lead mines, all of which will come in massive handy as we progress in the campaign. How is everybody fighting me right now? You guys need to just give up. Come on. Yay, we've got condensed engine pumps. This is absolutely massive. Oh yes, baby, we are now producing significantly more iron, fixing most of our iron issues as consequence. And it seems like the Americans also would like to allow France to build in the US. What? I'm gonna get an alliance with you two. Is that on board? It is. Holy schnitzel. Yep, I'm actually really happy with this. We got our very first ally. Good old historical alliance of US and France, which technically kind of did happen. So yeah, we're just playing a historical game here, boys, where we invade Argentina as France. Historical. We got the capital. Now we just need to defend, and we've basically won the war. And we also have the London Conference. Now, I would like to get the Belgians to be my subject diplomatically. In order to make that happen, we need to make them a little bit weaker than they currently are. That's why we will be backing the Dutch claims. I really hope somebody else helps me out with this, because right now 918 prestige is going on alternate partition. I'm assuming that's the British, isn't it? Yep, that's definitely the British. That is not great. We need someone else to back us. Come on, great powers, please. You know you love the Dutch. Seeing as I'm not intent on fighting the British anytime soon, I'm also going to delete my mana wars. They are extremely expensive, so this should help us a little bit lowering those costs that we currently have. And we just got free trade, which is huge, as well as our second South American subject. Hey, Ecuador back down. Oh, the first time a nation backs down. I feel important and strong now. I feel really powerful. Oh, and the best part is we can start inviting nations to our power block. Okay, let's see what the London Conference conclusion is. Okay, that's not too bad. The Wallonian state is split in half. Luxembourg got a big chunk out of that. Belgium did manage to retain Limburg, but I feel like this is probably not the worst, the alternative path, because they just lost 600,000 population. That is a lot of pops. And we also got another little cheeky war we're going to be doing here in Venezuela for for strategic future oil reserve reasons. We're role-playing the Americans, guys, a little bit before the Americans did this. So we made the oil rush cool, okay? That might not be the flex I think it is. Hold on a second here. The Americans created the Colombian Pact. What? Oh, and it seems like we can invite the Swiss. We also managed to get autocracy by allowing the church to enforce their little coup. That's right. We just temporarily got the legitimist, which means we have a lot more authority now, and we don't need to give a shit about political parties. The worst thing ever, right? Come on. Nobody likes them. Why have democracy when you can have totalitarianism? Am I right, boys? Come on. If you don't agree with me, you're going to the gulag. I'm just saying it right now. You know what? I actually really like the French flag when you're an autocratic nation. It looks so much better for some reason, doesn't it? Hey, we also can accept the Danes now in our power block. Now, in order to get the Portuguese in the power block, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be building up their country. So I'm going to get some logging camps built all around Portugal, which should increase my leverage over them. It's also time that we get some universities. I like to have at least 1 or 2 universities in every single state for the qualifications it offers. And then I like to have one state with like 20 or whatever to make sure that I just have enough to reach my innovation cap. We also can increase progress by 40 for Bonapartists if we use the opportunity of returning the ashes of Napoleon to court the Bonapartists. All right, and we've got the last of the major Spanish-speaking nations in South America as our next target. Let's do a quick naval invasion in their capital. Well, technically Cundinamarca is the capital, but we're right next to it. We'll reach it in a sec. In a jiff, we'll reach it. Don't worry. I mean, look at them. 90,000 people starving in their capital. How can you let your own population starve, Colombia? 400,000. Totally not because we're invading them. Totally not. We're just trying to save them, okay? Also, I'm going to build my second company, which is going to be the metalwork company, as we do need to increase the manufacturing industry throughput. That is a very underrated bonus. Also, this company is going to be renamed to Ludi's Metalworks for people that haven't subscribed. That's for you. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Jose. Why are you not clicking that subscribe button yet? Huh? What's wrong with me? Why don't you love me? I love you. Ah, beautiful South America. Once more in hands of a true Latin. Now, this might be a little bit of a weird World War I, but I'm attempting to divide Brazil into multiple smaller nations so it's easier for me to puppet it afterwards. And also, I'm just waiting for my infamy to go down, so I might as well do something productive with my time in which I'm just waiting, right? That being said, the Proskins have joined on their side. So logically, I'm going to call my ally the Americanos, and I'm going to be releasing from the Germans the Rhineland. This is one of the strongest areas of Prussia, and them losing this so early on is going to be an absolute blow to them. And of course, the Brazilians just back down, negating absolutely everything I just said. Are you serious right now, Brazil? You disgust me, Brazil. You pussies! You absolute little Schnitzeldorf pussies. This nation is 100% going to become our power block member as consequence. The Swiss declined joining my power block earlier, despite having like 80% chance of joining it. So now I'm going to attempt again to sweeten the deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a little bit of money. So I'm basically bribing them to join my power block. There you go. 85% chance. You better freaking accept that. There you go. They did. All right, beautiful. So that means they're now in our power block. The time is finally here. We have Louis Napoleon returning to the French borders. We're going to make sure he gets a little bit of popularity just because we might turn this Napoleon into the next Napoleon, the best Napoleon, even some would say. Hey, look at that. Amazonia just accepted an invitation into our treaty, and the Bonapartists have been restored. We get 50 permanent popularity for Louis Napoleon. We are so back, it's not even funny. We're also taking out the last of the free South American nations here, and apparently we also just unlocked nationalism right on time with Napoleon around the corner. Hey, look at that. The Greeks would also love to join my power block. Hot diggity dong. We're now officially in the Balkans. The wait is over. We can now finally get the level 3 colonial offices principle, which means that we get per level of colonial affairs institution -5 infamy against unrecognized powers. We have level 2, and speaking of, we probably should get level 3 education and just work a little bit on that for that matter. But the cool part is that we now are taking less infamy from attacking nations around the world that are not recognized. So for example, attacking Madagascar is 10% cheaper from an infamy perspective. That's why I've basically been taking the chill pill for a while there. As you'd imagine, Marina is our first target in Africa just for historical reasons and because it's it's such a great little state to have overall, and so easy to conquer most of the times because nobody gives a schnitzel about them. Also, time that we start subjugating, we have now the Danes as well as the Swiss as our subjects from the power block interaction. So we literally avoided like 30 infamy from getting these two European nations under our control, as well as we avoided having to fight potentially other nations around in those wars. Unfortunately, Belgium and Portugal are not going to be joining my power block. I'm really struggling to get the leverage, and the British somehow managed to get a lot more leverage than me. They've also canceled some treaties, and they're just being very uncooperative. And my test run that I did on stream yesterday, it went a lot smoother. So I guess it is just a little bit RNG when it comes down to it. As a last ditch attempt to try and get the Portuguese, because they're just so powerful, getting them in the power block, I will give them a lot of good stuff in exchange for the power block embassy. I mean, a lot of good stuff. So that, coupled with funding the lobbies and me keeping on building stuff in their country, maybe, just so maybe, might help us get them in the power block. I'm still on the fritz about it, to be honest. Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. Yes. Yes, it worked. We got the Portuguese, boys. Oh, yes, baby. Now in 5 years, we can also subjugate them. And that's a huge chunk of the colonial world alongside parts of Iberia. And we also started going for the conquest of the Algerian parts now. Ooh la la, total separation. That's exactly what I'm all about, boys. Separating the church and state to make everybody happy. Now, we've also been working hard on getting Bavaria in our power block. It's honestly a lot, apparently, easier than getting Belgium in this run, at least, which is just crazy to see. Also, in case you're wondering, the Prussians have in fact lost a lot of their members in the power block, so I'm doing my best here to get not only Bavaria but Baden and some other German nations in the power block if possible. That would make a massive difference. Look at this, freaking Hanover also would love to be a part of my power block. Gonna make sure we support their independence, of course. We're the good guys here trying to make Germany great again, just like it was during the times of Napoleon, the great man who supported the Germans. This was possible mostly because the Prussians lost a civil war, and they're basically not much of a rival for me right now. Let's also check their domestic. I think they're back to being... Oh, they got universal suffrage? Holy schnitzel. Okay, that's an interesting combo right there. Universal suffrage with national supremacy and monarchy. Okay, wait, what? Spain's got 148? No. No. What? I know my private sector has been building in Spain, but they apparently have been building a massive amount because we got a huge amount of leverage. Okay, I'm so gonna try and get them in my power block now, and they're gonna be almost happy to do this. Oh my god, dude, this is crazy. We just bribe them a little bit and they get my power block embassy. They're so in. They are so freaking in. It's not even funny. Oh, dude, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. We're gonna get Spain as our next power block member. Oh my Schnitzeldorf. I guess we might as well finish conquering the Algerian parts now, so that way we can start also munching into Morocco afterwards. And I know what you're thinking, Ludi, why don't you just make a Mascara a protectorate? I could technically do that. That likely would be the smarter option too. Oh, Bavaria. We're literally putting the gang back together, and by gang I mean the Napoleonic Confederation of the Rhine gang. Okay, we're so back, it's crazy. Spain's about to join too in Baden and Hanover. This is crazy, man. I feel like the French really need to be nerfed. The sovereign empire as France is just insane, and I'm saying this with me having bad RNG in this run compared to the previous one. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to my little Spanish broski who just joined. Je m'appelle Giovanni Giorgio. And for that matter, Hanover just joined our power block too. We are literally on fire right now. Baden's gonna join in a couple of weeks too. Oh my god, this is crazy. The next company has also arrived, the French steel conglomerate, which of course will get investment rights. Aw, Benin back down. I was expecting them to fight me. Just kidding, I knew they're gonna be wussies. Well, if it isn't the Portuguese protectorate of France. Vietnam also made the right choice in backing down. Them being our protectorate protectorate just saves them from the reality that is they might become the British protectorate otherwise, just like Siam, unfortunately, which has lost Chiang Mai to the British. Chiang Mai, I believe, starts as a protectorate of Siam, but somehow they managed to snipe that off from right under Siam's own noses. So that means Siam is probably in need of protection too, if you know what I mean. Now, Saxony has an 80% chance of joining the para bloc. I would like it to be 100, so again, I'm gonna give them a little bit of money to just sweeten the deal there. There you go. For 3,000 shekels, they have managed to join the greatest coalition of nations, Giovanni Giorgio. I can't believe I'm saying that with a straight face. We're applying the same tactics for Siam. We're making opening market a primary demand, so we make sure that they're going to be reliant on our trade goods once they join our power block as a subject. And the reason I don't have too much GDP, because I know some of you are probably going to be asking that, is because my private sector has been pretty much only building outside of my country. It's literally the only reason why I've been able to subjugate nations like that. Look at that. I just subjugated freaking Bavaria because my power block's been building and increasing the leverage around, and it's been doing the right thing. We can start focusing on building in France itself later down the line. We're still doing it, but not as much as you would imagine. Right now, we're trying to get as much of the world as possible. If we look at the map now, look at that. We've got a decent chunk of the world already under our control, and we're gonna have even more added as we progress. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God. We got the Confederation of the Rhine. Click it, baby, click it. The second Rhine Bukake is here, boys. They will annex Holstein, Bavaria, and the Switzerlands. And I love how both options do the exact same thing here. We just got freaking the Confederation of the Rhine as our subject, man. It's a personal union under... Wait, what? I'm sorry. What? Why is this a personal union under Denmark? Did we just lose Switzerland and Bavaria to the freaking Danes? Denmark. How do I put this nicely? F you, buddy. F you, my boy. There you go. By making them a puppet, we managed to transfer the Confederation of the Rhine to us as our personal union. The rightful leader of the Confederation of the Rhine. Oh my God, this is actually crazy. There you go. We managed to subjugate Baden, so that means we can add Baden to the Confederation of the Rhine by clicking the Expand the Confederation button. I kind of like that because we're going to add the Saxons also once we subjugate, the Hanoverians once we subjugate too. So the reality is that we can pretty much add all the, well, at least half of Germany to the Confederation, and it's just one subject, not multiple subjects that we need to worry about. Also, pretty much all of my puppets are super loyal because of the intertwined economy that we have that really helps out a lot with it. So I'm just the king of the world right now, guys. I'm pretty sure if we were to transfer India from the British, that we would be absolutely unstoppable, which is why I'm kind of thinking about transferring India from them. The thing is, though, it's a little bit of infamy. I'm not too worried about the infamy, however. I am more worried about the fact that it's going to be so powerful. Like, what's the point of the game then? I will feel bored with the game if I do that. So maybe instead I can liberate India, and by liberating them, I make an extra nation we need to compete with, rather than just having the British being super overpowered because of the British Raj. There you go. Hanover also has become our subject now, which means, again, we go to the Confederation of the Rhine, and we can expand this. Well, actually, it's timed, so I can only do it again in 1861. I guess I can do it for both Saxony and Hanover then. Okay, and we need to also get more involved in Africa, so next target is going to be Sokoto. Also, we need to expand a little bit more our construction sector, so I'm going to queue up a few more construction sectors. I'm basically getting right now Burgundy as my third main construction sector state from Ile-de-France to Rhône. And now we are over our infamy, over 25 infamy, which is not great because we have a fuck ton of subjects, and being over 25 means that we are now getting 0.1 liberty desire increase with all of our subjects. When you have 25 subjects, that can turn into issues. So I'm going to try and chill after this for a tiny little bit, only attack smaller nations for less infamy in essence, like all of these guys. So all of this here, this can easily get conquered, and then we can form French Senegal colonial nation. And also I need a lot more ships. Apparently ships is a major issue for me, so I'm gonna create some more ports around the entire country. Unsurprisingly, the Sokotans have decided to fight me though. I'm just trying to get Sokoto now because later down the line, instead of 27 infamy, I'm probably gonna pay a little bit more to conquer this land, because they're gonna keep on growing in population and GDP for sure. Also, one more thing to note about sovereign empires in general, guys, is that your cohesion is dependent on the relations from the power block member with the lowest relations, as well as the amount of power block members that are not subjects. So we have 2 independent power block members right now. That's lowering our cohesion a little bit. So the idea is that when you add a nation to the power block, you really want to push for vassalizing them within the next 5 years. Okay, we're close to getting 50 cohesion again. So that means we got Saxony as a subject now, which means that if we go back to our beloved Rhine Confederation, we can give both Saxony and the Hanoverian areas to the Confederation of the Rhine. I just realized we're getting minus 15% prestige when we click this button, so I'm going to try to click it a lot less, only when there's a lot more nations around. Although, right now, quite literally half of Germany is part of our subject. And we did that with 0 infamy, guys. That is just wild. We're also close to cementing the House of Bonaparte, which is a massive W for us. Now, if we give all of our construction to the private sector, we're making a massive amount of money. So what I'm going to do for about a year, I'm going to actually let the private sector build, which means I'm going to be able to pay off all of my debt. And once that's done, we start building again. All right, now, no other dynasty will ever challenge the ruling dynasty again. Napoleon gets for 5 years 50 popularity, and we have officially consolidated the eternal house of Bonaparte. He is so back, boys. It's crazy. That means we don't need to stress about a house divided journal entry anymore, or about all of that dynamic. It is completely gone now. Look at that. We're making 200,000 profit if we just let our private sector build up by itself. Oh my god, they're building a railway for... Come on, private sector. This is just not smart. You're literally wasting this, man. That's minus 94 construction efficiency. Holy schnitzel. All right, we're literally about to pay off all of our principal debt in 1 week. There you go, boys. We're done. We don't need to stress about debt, so that means we can now start scaling up and getting more construction sectors. Considering I got some states with 600,000 unemployed people, that is a massive issue right there. So let's get the construction, and then let's start snowballing it properly now. I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to my actual homelands here. Wait, I just saw something. What the hell? This is ours directly owned? So when I clicked the Confederation of the Rhine, it gave me the Rhine province directly owned and let the Confederation itself own the rest of Germany. That's cool. I like that. Now I guess we can also do this. Give the little guy a little bit of a jolt. Give him power block embassy. So that way we can invite all the little nations in the Confederation of the Rhine as well, not just the bigger boys, which is what I've been mostly focusing on up until now. That being said, it would be pretty inefficient, to be fair. Maybe I'll just invite the bigger-ish ones, like Frankfurt. How much GDP? Frankfurt's got 0 GDP because they have no market access, do they? Yeah, they got basically 0 world market access. Hesse would be good, though. So Hesse's got 1 million. That is actually acceptable. So with all of these transit rights and everything we're giving them now, they're gonna 100% be on board with joining the Confederation of the Rhine. I wish I could invite Württemberg, but sadly it became a protectorate of the Austrians. Sacre bleu, the freaking Spaniards have betrayed us. They decided to form their own power block, and they're joining on the side of the scumbag Haitians that revolted a while back against us. So naturally, we're gonna destroy the Spaniards, liberate Catalonia, because we all know it wants to be free, liberate Andalusia, and of course liberate Navarra, because all of these nations will become a part of our power block after. That good old Caesarian saying, Dividicus et scibibidus, might have been divide and conquer, and of course Haiti backs down, so the whole thing I just said is useless. I just realized our map color is freaking amazing. Holy schnitzel. Well, 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 if it isn't the Ottoman Empire, you know, that nation that just lost the freaking Tanzimat. Also, Romania is about to form, so when that happens, I'm probably gonna add them to my power block too. That being said, Tripoli and Tunis is without a master, so of course, this guy has an interest here now. Oh, what is that? 3 new nations to join the Confederation? Don't mind if I do. We're gonna need to improve with Brunswick a little bit more though, because they don't seem to like us too much. They are in fact disinterested in us. How can you be disinterested in a nation that's literally conquering all of Germany? You might as well have some type of opinion, right? Also gonna make a suitable offer to the Egyptians, maybe just so maybe they're gonna give me Suez without me having to attack them. Acquire land in Zashinai. Hey, they gave it to us. That's huge. All right, now of course we shall be building the Suez Canal, prioritizing this obviously, and we also are able to invite Brunswick. 57-60% chance. I guess if we wait for a little bit longer, there's going to be higher chance. I don't want him to say no like the Swiss did with 80% chance initially. Oh my god, are we going to go for socialism? I think we kind of have to, because that's going to give us access to graduated taxation. Right now, graduated taxation would be a godsend. We instantly are going to have an increase of 32,000 in our tax law, which is massive. All right, boys, the conquest of Algeria is final. We actually conquered Morocco before Algeria, but still, we did it eventually, okay? Just 30 years later than we probably should have. I still stand by it, though. Prioritizing the rest of the world is better, in my opinion. And I'm also going to go for subsidizing companies to get some migration attraction in North Africa. That's actually not a bad idea. Now, we also managed to get Tunis and Tripoli, so we got most of North Africa now. I think it's also time that I start lowering my autonomy for my 31 subjects. So, yeah, I'm going to say Argentina first. We could do that, and then wait a little bit longer, then we can lower, I don't know, freaking Chile next as well we could do. Now, we should be fine. We're going to wait a tiny bit till we lower the rest of them, because we don't want them to be disloyal now or have too high liberty desire, do we now? Also, I need to break apart what's left of Brazil so I can do the same thing, add them to my power block and subjugate them after. Oh no! They want to make Hesse a protectorate. We shall defend our beloved Hesse. This is not acceptable. We're going to add a war goal of our own as well, which will be the liberation. Wait, we cannot add a war goal? Oh, we can only add a war goal that's up to 25 maneuvers. Ugh. Honestly, I think I'm just not going to add any war goal. I just don't want the Prussians to turn Hesse into a subject when I am going to be turning Hesse into a subject after this war is over. You know what I mean? I, in essence, do not want them to beat me to the punch, pretty much. Oh, my little subject of Greece is attacking the Egyptians? They want to take back Crete? Oh, I am actually on board with that, Greece. Holy broski. Hell yeah, I'm on board with that. I'm going to support you guys unconditionally. Wait, what? Is it over? Is the phase over? It is over. Why didn't I just click the button? I had to have a speech like the evil guy in the bad Hollywood movies. We're also bypassing homesteading straight up because I couldn't get any support for it, and we're going for commercialized agriculture straight from tenant farmers. Also, I am getting an insane amount of assets now. A lot of my industry is getting privatized, so I need to actually double down, and I need to start getting more construction. That means I'm going to start by turning my construction sectors in Rhone to steel frame building production method. That means we're going to need a lot more iron mines, steel mills and glass works. So that's going to be basically what I'm going to be spamming for the next little bit, as well as maxing out as much of the construction that I can max out here. Hey, we got commercialized agriculture. Hells to the yeah. This is actually huge. Now, I would absolutely love to go for graduated taxation. Look at that, 50,000 instant increase. There's just no support for it, man. We need to really do some massive restructuring in our government to get support for that particular one. First off, we really need to move away from autocracy. Like, literally anything is better than that right now, apparently. We've got insane support for universal suffrage, and like, I know that this would be the best option for me right now, but like, a part of me just wants to click technocratic just to see what the flag looks like. I don't know, man. I'm gonna make a save game here, go technocratic just to see the flag, then I'll maybe go for universal suffrage, reload the save. I don't know, let's see, because this is we just got to move away from autocracy at this point in the campaign. All right, I changed all my construction sectors to a steel frame, which means I am in massive shortage of glass right now. So temporarily, I'm gonna go for ceramics, maybe even prioritize gas production, gas production. What the hell? I'm not the Germans in the Second World. What is going on here, boys? Anyway, I'll click a lot of glass works just because we really need this stuff, and maybe I'll also go on medium taxation for now. Don't look at the amount of consumption tax. Just whatever you do, don't see how much we tax people in France. Okay, I'm just trying to be historical. I'm playing historically as the French. That's all that's happening here, okay? I'm trying to make sure the French people in my country suffer as much as the real ones. All right, we managed to also humiliate, or better yet, Hesse managed to humiliate Prussia because we did not enforce any war goals ourselves. Okay, time for the new round of subjugation. Oh, my favorite game in the HRE. Now, boys, we have a little bit of a problem. Namely, the Swedes are on their way to annex Denmark, to annex Schleswig-Holstein. For some reason, the overlords are not able to join on the side of the Finns, on the side of the Danes. But because of that, what I'm doing is I'm annexing Denmark before the Swedes do. Classic take it before they do moment. That means we're gonna have to do a naval invasion in the capital of the Danes to quickly grab that before the Swedes Swedes arrived there. There we go. We've officially cucked these Swedes. Sug on these, motherfuckers. You're not taking Denmark today, that's for sure. Problem is, they probably will take Schleswig-Holstein, though, because if I'm not wrong, this peace deal includes Schleswig-Holstein. It does indeed. Well, that is just unfortunate, really. Now, we have reached 151 mil, and we've got way more than that in our subjects. I mean, freaking Rhine Confederation, which is not yet fully consolidated, has about 43 million GDP alone, so it's really crazy. Right now, we've got 31 subjects. That is just wild unto itself, really. And seeing as we've integrated one of our subjects, now we're getting issues with 0.20 in Liberty Desire increase until an overlord has annexed another subject modifier goes away, which is in 4 years. So I'm gonna have to be a really good boy, really develop my countries, give them a lot of priorities, give them a lot of rights, so that they're gonna be less inclined to break away from me, in essence. Also gonna be expanding the Confederation, giving them Mecklenburg, Hesse, and a little bit of Brunswick too, just so I get less subjects I need to worry about. As consequence, now I'd rather just have to worry about one big confederation of the Rhine, which is now 50 million strong, by the way, than have to worry about 4 little nations in exchange. Okay, another attempt to pass laissez-faire. I really need this. That 25% loan interest rate will allow me to scale so much. Please pass this time. This is like the 3rd time I'm attempting this, and I'm also cleaning up the borders in Central Africa. We really need to start doing this, boys. I hate losing so much land. I mean, I'm probably gonna lose about 20 million population, maybe 20 million GDP, but we gotta establish our colonial administrations. First off, Senegal, boom shakalaka. So that means we have a brand new colonial nation here, which we have 3 options here. We can make it a chartered company, we can make it a little France to colonize Africa with our pops, or we'll just squeeze everything we can out of it. I'm just gonna go for chartered company because I'm not an absolute tool of a human being. So I'm not the Belgians here, okay? We're playing as the French, not the Belgians, to point out. Surprisingly, that was only 4 million GDP, which is a lot less than I expected I'd lose. That's probably because I haven't lost the Nigerian parts yet. Time for the second colony, this time in the Niger. Also a chartered company, and they actually didn't get too many provinces. They got how many? They got about 4 provinces, including the one in the Sahara up north. Well, probably because this area belongs to Congo, or Cameroon better yet, so it's going to be part of French Congo. Oh my god, my standard of living just skyrocketed after I released those colonies in Africa. We're also about to overtake the British when it comes to GDP, but the big blow is going to come once we actually start making them lose their colonies. That being said, this video is taking a little bit longer than I expected it to, and I want to talk a little bit more in detail about everything that I'm doing, so I'm going to split this in 2 parts. Once we get 4,000 likes, I'll release the second part. If not, I'll just probably release it in a week or 2, regardless of the likes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little French campaign. I had a lot of fun, actually. Surprisingly, it is a very different playstyle when you're playing as a really overpowered nation from the beginning. If you enjoy the run, make sure to subscribe as well, and don't forget to use my link if you want to buy anything from the Paradox website. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.